Just out of curiosity, I had to look up what genre this movie is. I was curious if they'd call it a thriller, but predictably, it's a comedy horror for whatever that nomenclature is worth. I've never laughed so little and feared even less. Hello, one and all. I am Inkarnate, your horror host, here to warn you about this movie. Less an aftershock and more just an outright Jesus, a cautionary tale? Let's start with the basic cameos in this movie. David Cronenberg, he was shown in the trailers briefly, and he's about that shortly lived in this movie. Man, I had to ask myself, like, since the 90s, since Nightbreed, where he actually made an impression in his appearances as an actor, what else has he been in? And, God, I just remembered the absolute stinkers that he has appeared in this millennium. Films like Jason X, Star Trek Discovery, oof. And now this movie. I'll get to the other brief cameo shortly. Oh, looks like we have a new addition. Hello, Testimony X23. Nice name. I always get the most interesting of followers with the most interesting of names on both Twitch and Kick. Anyway, getting back to this. So, God. You have it's no secret that the hunters are the different families of this Illuminati cult. So the movie starts with a phone call contract where all of these family members, all of these killers are being contacted of a contract. Gee, it's almost like John Wick. Where have I seen this before? I'm just like, bruh. So from whether you're referring to the very beginning, the very end, or, tender moments that you're supposed to be heartfelt or they're supposed to have real gravitas, I swear I haven't joined your stream in forever. Nice to know you're still to the normal stuff. Hello, Angel. I remember you. So this movie, like I was saying, just all of the attempts at serious moments fall flatter than Gal Gadot's acting. Right when the action is starting to kick off, and the bride sister arrives at the hospital, and oh man, they're established as estranged. I audibly groaned at the movie because I knew that it had just telegraphed that these two were going to spend the entirety of the film arguing while also reconciling. Yawn. So I knew we were in for that exciting character development. Oof, man. And I'll get to that in a second. But moving forward, I swear, right when the action is going to kick off, you have this corny attempt of the bride suiting up in her bloodstained gear and her Chuck Taylors, which again was spoiled in the trailers, but even the movie doesn't take that seriously, as just as quickly as she suits up, she's subdued instantly. What a fail. So, moving on. The Secret Society, they have this brief, really shallow moment where they attempt to show that how far the reach of this secret society happens to extend. And despite that scene, you're telling me that this Illuminati, they own world politics basically, but they can't control local cops or hospitals? Rather curious. Oof. So the other cameo in this movie, Kevin Durand is his usual brand of Timu Nicolas Cage. Here is an actor that's destined for B-movie stardom. Did I say destined? I meant condemned. So, right after he shows up, Oh man, you get this exposition heavy piece of monologue from Elijah Wood. I swear, throughout the movie, he tries to play this unnervingly calm lawyer despite the horror of it all. And Harry Potter is thoroughly unconvincing. I mean, I genuinely think that he should just give up acting because it's just like, dude, you're not good in anything. The last thing that I can remember him being even remotely creepy or interesting in was when he played Kevin in Sin City. That's like, dude, it's done. It's over. And it, like, a lot of the washed up actors in this, it's really distracting because it's like they're not good at anything, which I'll get to more briefly. So, actually, I'll get to it now. Speaking of implausible, I swear, the sight of Buffy with a gun the size of her torso is comical for all the wrong reasons. Oh my god. Like, it'd be hard pressed for people to look at her, and I'm pretty sure she's like 5'1". I can't imagine that it's pretty difficult for people to like think that she was ever this like kick-ass actress or whatever. Ugh. Moving on. So, in a movie like this, like, as in all slashers, one would think that creative kills would be baked into the slaughter souffle, right? But just like modern slashers, they can't even hit that low bar. Just to give you a brief example of what I'm talking about, this movie has death by laundry. I'm just like, dude, no. It's just dumb. I don't know if the movie thought that this would be funny or something. Yeah, that's a fail. It must be said, they bring in a sibling for the bride. These two actresses could not have any less chemistry together. It's wild. I'm sitting there, it's like, and again, it's established from the moment that they reunite, that they're at odds, and I'm just like, and I knew the movie was gonna spend the rest of its runtime trying to get these two to kiss and make up, and I'm just, oh god, I'm just like, oh, okay, they're not gonna be able to pull this off, and they didn't. Like, not necessarily inside jokes, but like that kind of camaraderie where two people are insulting each other but in a joking, loving way. Yeah, it really just falls flat. It's just like, nah, son. This ain't it. I really hate to break it to you. As foreseen, the men in this movie, they're treated like effeminate clowns or overgrown children, incompetent and useless, which, I mean, considering it's 2026, is less of a spoiler alert and more of an expectation. Sadly, even within horror movies. Oh man, this movie pretty much plays like the first, except it doesn't take advantage of its open field or forest settings, which is where the hunt begins at, which just a missed opportunity. The Quarry siblings just walk into open buildings that one would think would be locked down, you know, to keep the hunt outside, but why expect intelligent decisions at this point? There's this, oh man, I mentioned the rules of a slasher movie before, or the expectations of it at least. So there's this rule within the context of just this movie that the hunters can only use weapons from like a century ago for reasons. And yet, this one character is seen using a heavy ordnance sniper rifle that looks like this thing could shoot down a jumbo jet. Consistency. Not that it mattered, because that sightless simpleton, he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with a beach ball. His shots were about as much of a miss as the comedy was in this movie. And oh, by the way, that brings me to my next point. Remember, kiddies, killing minorities and brown people is bad. Unless it's by white women. Seriously, if they had a film where the protagonists were white men, forget about it. Everybody would be up in arms about the portrayal going on here, and what does this mean? Ugh. So, and on that subject matter, it must be said, Buffy plays one lousy ass villain, like just not interesting, not threatening, not engaging, not surreal. Like you get nothing. She's just, it's so bad and flat. It leaves you wishing that she was generic. You know what I mean? It's just nothing. I almost wish it was like campy and mustache twirly. No, you don't even get that. Which is amazing. Like, as much as she's over here girl bossing it up, the character is, okay, she's rich and evil and power hungry. Okay. That's it. I mean, how one-dimensional can you get? This movie picks up where Scream 6 left off in terms of implementing impalement as a suggestion. Like, seriously, people might as well patch a cannonball wound with band-aids at this point. I mean, hey, why not go all the way with the meme? So, Angel says, did they have any unfunny low... have an unfunny low budget? Like, was all their money spent on hiring all the famous actors? If you could call them famous. I don't even know what the budget for this one was. Let me check that really quickly. I know that the budget for the first Ready or Not was $6 million. So let's see if they up the ante. But keep in mind that the budget does not... this one has a reported budget of $6 million. Remember that the cost for the actors doesn't factor into the budget. That's something completely separate. Just like the marketing. Yeah. So, yeah. This it's astonishing to me. Like, you'll have characters that should be hemorrhaging. Like, you're straight up skewered, right? You should be hemorrhaging, and it's almost comedic that they'll these characters will be yanking out glass, and what are they? Glass that's deeply insetted into the body. Like, there's no way you missed an organ or a major artery, but they'll just plunk out whatever shard is sticking into them, and then the funny part will come when they just put like a napkin over, just dab it up, it'll be fine. I'm just like, bro, what are we doing here? Like, they've learned nothing from Scream 6, and it was the same crap as that. You would have someone get straight up skewered, just shanked, like in a jailhouse bathroom, and then they'll be just so weakened and hobbling with their hand over the wound, and then a scene later they're fine. It's like, dude, no. They just keep doing that. It's a running joke at this point. Moving on from there, and then after like, as bad as it is, only recognizing the wound with your hand over it, you'd have these characters still somehow have the energy for a full-on fist fight. I don't think I'm spoiling much when I say the film sets up something that they probably think is really funny in a battle of the brides, and it's so corny. Like, the few poultry people that you could find in my theater, no one was laughing. Like, the movie really thinks that the gags that they're pulling off are just knee slappers and hysterical. No, man, it's just dumb. And that's what you get out of the humor with this movie. And if a joke that was unfunny, if a joke that gets repeated loses its appeal, what does a bad joke get you? And I'm not saying they repeat the same bad jokes, but it's just a string of bad comedy. Like, where do you think that, like, these people are not good at humor, and someone really needs to tap them on the shoulder, inform them of such, and then revoke their ability to make movies, direct, or write them, because they're just not talented. And I've seen enough of their output where it's like, how did these people get the Scream license? And I'll get to my concerns with them later on. I really wish that they were just that the writing duo that have been responsible for so many of these bad movies like Ready or Not 2. I don't, they just fail upwards seemingly. You can tell that the movie just straight up runs out of gas in its third act. I mean, the extension of monotonous boredom that goes on for I'm not even lying, like a straight 20 minutes. They attempt to have these deep and really heart to heart serious conversations, and I'm just like, dude, this is boring. This is not getting us anywhere. This is not moving the plot along. It's not developing your characters. It's just fluff at this point. And even them, even when it's attempting to be serious, this movie manages Starfleet Academy levels of unfunny, man. I'm sitting in my seat just shaking my head and mind you, I had no expectations for this movie, but even then, oof, you talk about a stinker, man. So, I mean, take it from me. Don't worry about skipping Ready or Not 2, because Zazie Beetz is coming out with the same movie next week. Yeah, this movie is an absolute fail for me. No good. And I'll repeat the words that I mentioned in my precaution, in my movie preview. Dude, I'm not expecting high art, but this movie tries to pull off some semblance of like Hunger Games and John Wick and Eyes Wide Shut and Knives Out. It's like, bruh, you are so very much less than all of these other movies. There's really nothing to Ready or Not. Again, this could have been a really fun film or franchise that they're attempting with this, but nah, dude, it really is just an L. If they're gonna use medieval weaponry again, that could have been fun. That could have been interesting. They don't have the creativity to use, you know, settings or the weapons or funny characters or anything like that, man. It just falls so very flat. You know, you could have changed up the setting so that it's not just another mansion, or make something interesting within the mansion. Like, you're trying to up the ante, both in the number of people, like the different warring families that are trying to go after the bride and her sister. You really could have had fun with that. The fact that they try to go the John Wick route by whoever manages to kill the bride gets the head seat of the high table. Oh, I mean, I'm sorry, the high council. It's like, and they run the world, bruh. They're like, again, I'm not a bloodhound, but on two different aspects, you're upping the ante. So how is it that you drop the ball this hard? There's really nothing to this film. I cannot imagine that this film is gonna just knock it out of the park at the box office. And I hate to harp on that point, but it's just like, man, it really doesn't deserve to be a franchise. This movie really doesn't deserve to hit it out of the park, gross more than the first one. Because again, like, the first one was such a nominal success, budget of $6 million, and it goes on to make $28 million. Wow, what a rip-roaring success. So I'm curious, no matter how much it makes, how little, I wonder how they're going to try to spin it that way. So, yeah, I mean, if you're interested, I hope you take this, if you haven't seen this movie, as a warning to save your money. and stay away from this movie. And if you're even mildly interesting, dude, seriously, go watch any of those movies that I named. Go watch John Wick. Give Ballerina a chance. Go watch a Hunger Games movie. Eyes Wide Shut, whatever it is that you want. But this movie, it's such a fail. I mean, I referred to it as like The Purge, just consolidated within a house, within a mansion. And yeah, maybe, just maybe, any one of those movies are better, but this is one of those movies that you play in the background when you're home ironing. I mean, it's just it's nothing. It tries to be clever, it fails at that. It hopes to be funny, not even close. So yeah, this is the definition of passable. Regardless, I have been your horror host Inkarnate, reminding you, I ain't just a big deal, I'm the real deal. If you're resigned to your fate, time to subscribe to your fears.
Warn your friends. Warn everyone.